Hey, so today I have Rexy on the line for an interview. Do you want to introduce yourself, Rexy? All right. So Rexy was another awesome member of the community that reached out to me about an interview, and I'm really, really excited to get started with you and talk to you about your experience in the fandom. But just to get everyone on the same page, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the fandom?
Well, I mainly go by Rexy Plexy, but I also go by Vesper of the Stars, because, Vesper is my fursuit's character's name. And, I've been in the fandom for, several years now. I first found it by, when I joined DeviantArt, like, all those years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
That's, like, when the whole, like, Sparkle Dog craze was, like, huge. And so, basically, I found it through that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because at one point, Sparkle Dogs were what Primogens and Protogens are now, and what Dutch Angel Dragons were a few years ago.
Yeah, like, everyone had, like, Sparkle Dogs, and there was a bunch of, like, webcomics about them and everything. So
Yeah.
I basically found it through that, and, like, I noticed people started posting pictures of, like, fursuits and stuff, and I was like, those look really cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's basically how I found it.
Oh, awesome. And so I know that you have a fursuit as well. So did you make your fursuit, or did you purchase your fursuit?
No. It's kind of an interesting story on how I got that particular fursuit. No, I didn't make her. She was made by Velveteen Soldier on Instagram.
Oh, I know them, actually.
Yeah, like, a couple of years ago, they had one of those, like, they had a giveaway on Instagram, and you could win this fursuit head. And so I entered it, and you could get extra entries by, like, drawing their characters and stuff. So I did that a couple times, and then one day I got a message, and I had won it. So.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I've definitely done a couple of those, but I don't think I've ever actually won. So it's really cool that you were able to get ahead that way. I know that's one really great solution for maybe some people who don't have the ability to fully commission a suit, but I don't think I've ever actually met anyone who's actually won one of the raffles or giveaways. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's, like, the first and only raffle I've ever won. So it was, like, a real shocker to me.
Definitely. So I guess one of the other questions I had is, I assume you're on slightly the older side then if you came from DeviantArt a couple years ago rather than a more recent furry, but what is one of the aspects of the fandom that you most like or you find the most appealing?
I think it'd definitely have to be, like, the community side of it, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it definitely has to be that.
Okay. And then one of the other questions I'd had is, what is one aspect of the fandom that you wish you could change for the better?
Just kind of, like, a lot of the negativity that you could find, I would say, because I haven't had too much problems with it before, but occasionally it'll come up, and it's like, ugh.
No, I definitely feel that. I mean, that's one of the more common answers to it, just because it tends to be the most prevalent in the community, but I'm always kind of interested to see if someone says something different, like the art stealing. But it was definitely something I was interested in. So are you involved in any groups or activities that are also related to furries, such as any like art groups or fursuiting groups? Just curious because I know some people are and some people aren't. Just kind of depends on their level of activity in the fandom.
I'm not too like into any other groups or anything. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere. I don't really know any other furries. I occasionally mess around in like the Dutch Angel Dragon community, but other than that, I don't have a really huge thing. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So about where do you live though, in terms of middle of nowhere, like Midwest, Northeast? Just because I don't think I'd asked before.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's kind of, it's like Midwest, like southern area.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I don't know where I'm not entirely sure where the biggest concentrations of furries are, so I know like a couple out in Ohio, there's some in Michigan, California, so I'm just like, I don't really know where the big place for furries to be is, but it seems like everyone's pretty spread out most of the time. So understanding that you have like a fursuit and you're pretty active in the community, have you ever gone to any conventions or do you plan to in the future?
I haven't gone to any furry conventions yet. I've gone to like a couple small anime conventions. We used to have one around here, but it moved. But I would like to eventually go to a furry convention. I think Midwest Fur Fest is probably the closest one here, and that's still pretty far, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been to that one. It's definitely a really, really good time, and I feel like it's a little bit easier to go to as a first con than something like an Anthrocon, which just seemed massive. So
yeah, I've seen pictures from Anthrocon, and I was like, ooh, that looks
enormous.
That's really crowded.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess one other question that I'd had is, I know you came over from DeviantArt and off the back of the Sparkle Dog craze. Is there one species or kind of craze going on that you think is almost equal to the Sparkle Dog craze or you like particularly?
Yeah, like I said, I occasionally mess around with the Angel Dragon community, so I think that's getting kind of really big right now, and I think they're neat. So
yeah, for sure. And I guess now you have Angel Dragons and Dutch Angel Dragons, and they're not necessarily the same thing, which I wasn't aware of. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So I guess I also wanted to ask, because I know there's a bunch of different ways you can be active in the furry community nowadays with the internet. What is one of the most interesting ways you think that furries are connecting now that we have the internet?
I don't just like how they form these communities around like different like platforms. Like basically you have furries on like art websites that don't even like really cater to furries. Like you have the DeviantArt furries, and then you have furries over on YouTube, and then just all these different places, but they're all still one community essentially.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely will say it's nice being a non-art furry, being able to connect in a different medium than art, because I used to go to like Oakaki boards, and I'm a I'm an absolute shit artist, so it didn't go very far, but being able to connect in new ways that are not necessarily art has been super helpful. So I don't know if you've experienced the same thing of seeing furries branch out in new ways that you don't have to be necessarily an artist to use.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm also an artist, but I love seeing other people, like, just bring their own stuff and just do whatever, and it's really awesome to see that happening.
Yeah, definitely. So, knowing that you are a fursuiter, is there a fursuit maker or a fursuit out there that you would call as a favorite? I know a lot of people don't like to play favorites, but I'm just curious if you have one.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez. I know there has to be one, but, like, on the dot, I just can't name one right now.
Oh, no.
I'm sure if I, like, saw them, I'd be like, that one.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And then I guess sorry, I never write questions for these. I just kind of let them come off the top of my head. But what is some advice that you would give to someone who is considering joining the furry community but hasn't seen any of the media for it yet?
I guess maybe just go with your gut. Like, if you see this and you think it's for you, then, look into it with an open mind. If you're a little iffy, kind of gently coast into it instead of, like, going hardcore. I think that would be, like, the best thing for someone new to it.
Definitely. Okay. And then I guess the other question that I'd actually had in mind for this interview was also, what do you think is one of the aspects of the fandom that is commonly misunderstood the most often?
Kind of just basic. Hold on, I need to think a moment.
No, take all the time you need. It's totally fine. I threw that one out there as kind of like a giant question. I was like, whoops. Punted that one.
Well, kind of like what it's all for. Like, a lot of people, they'll see, like, furries in their fursuits, and they're like, oh, is this all you do? This is just what you do all day. Just dress up as an animal, and you don't do anything else. And it's like, no, I have, like, I go to school, I take classes. It's not all about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or even assuming that every single person has a fursuit, which I've seen a lot of that still perpetuated, even though I can't even count on both hands how many videos go into the fact that not all furries have fursuits.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like, me, if I didn't win that one, I probably wouldn't even have one yet either. Yeah, so it's like...
Yeah, completely get that.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't have any other questions like prepared up, but I like to make this like a two-way street. So do you have any questions for me or for anyone that'll see this video that they could answer in the comments? Like, just giving you the floor for any questions you might have.
Just like, for anyone watching that might comment, like, what do you love about the fandom? Like, what do you like to do? I have, like, a passion for writing, but I don't really see too much, like, furry-related stories. Like, anyone have a passion for that or something?
Yeah, I haven't seen as many actual authors at conventions in terms of Dealer's Den. Granted, I usually go to the art den, like, constantly, but I haven't seen as many authors crop up, so I'm kind of curious, like, where that's going. So definitely would be interested to see if anyone who watches this does have any authors in mind that are up and coming and maybe not getting them as much press as they probably should. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, like, I love reading and I love to write stories too, and I think it'd be interesting to see more, like, authors and writers in the fandom.
For sure. So in terms of different ways that people can use either furries to integrate with their other interests, have you found that there's one way this is done either through dance or music or art or writing or gaming that you think is really, really crazy and interesting?
Like, I think, like, anthropomorphic animals and such can be really used very visually pleasing. Like, using them in place of, like, humans or something can really change the appearance of whatever you're working on, be it, like, a story or, like, a video game. Like, that newer game that came out, Night in the Woods, it would have a very different look to it if they used, like, if they used human characters instead of, like, anthropomorphic animals, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the craziest thing I've ever seen is Sardion, who was at Anthrocon, who actually does, like, a balancing act and juggles in fursuit. So that was one of the ones where I was just like, what the heck? Like, how do you even see through those eyes? And then how did you not fall on your butt, like, using fursuit feet paws to stack chairs?
Yeah, I can't even do that out of suit.
No. Like. No, and I have, like, dinner plate fursuit feet, so there's no way. There's no way I wouldn't, like, fall down immediately.
Yeah. Like, I can barely move my head when I'm wearing my fursuit head, so I can barely, like, look around. I have to turn my whole body, so that is wild.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely seen that. And I know that, I believe her name is Spark, and I think she's from New Zealand, has ridden horses in suit, done, like, backflips in suit, gone skydiving in suit, and, like, just, like,
yeah, I've seen a lot of her videos, and, like, it's like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, and, like, that's a body tight suit with a moving jaw, and I'm just like, how on earth?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so definitely when I see those, I'm kind of like, oh my god, that is insane. Your poor fursuit maker must be absolutely sweating bullets, but then I have to remember that she actually made that suit, so she's probably not that worried considering she did it, but I can imagine my fursuit maker would just be, like, absolutely freaking out if I went skydiving in mine, because I'm pretty confident there's no way it would survive the fall.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh my god, that would, I don't know, I think that, like, I wouldn't want to go skydiving out of suit even, like, at all.
Oh,
so,
no.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I feel like probably Australia and New Zealand are braver than I, because I would never jump out of a plane.
Yeah,
but I see plenty of people from there jumping out of planes, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's just, like, the thing you do there, and I don't know.
Yeah, like, I'm fine on the ground.
For sure. So yeah, but I didn't have any other questions, but I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to ask. Otherwise, that is all I had prepared, unfortunately.
All right. No, I don't really think that I have much else to ask.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you, and I really do appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, you too. It was interesting.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you so much. I will probably try to get this up pretty soon so that people can react to some of your questions and leave you some comments to come back on. But otherwise, this was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for speaking with me, and I look forward to doing more of these.
You too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye, Rexy.
See ya.
See ya.